There's been a report from the White House, a statement from the White House happened yesterday. They are seeking expanded powers,
Oh, as
basically,
they do, right?
as they do. Uh, and as we talked about before, there are a lot of counterterrorism, counter UAV stuff that they want to do because obviously all the bad people are going to be tracked and all the good people. And we all know the follies with things like this, but we are reporting at least that it is happening. That they
Mm-hmm.
are looking to implement new parts of the CIA, other government departments such as DHS, the Justice Department, and other groups including state and local governments, may now have rights to do things to drones. Basically, this will also provide new authority to airports, so you don't have to get as much permitting to install drone detection systems,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. This is kind of in its barely news because this is basically a declaration to do this, but we don't actually have laws on the books for this yet. They're just basically seeking to expand power. So once we get actually full expanded powers and we see how this is going to lay out, maybe we'll explain more to you about where this ends up. But yeah, hopefully this isn't a big concern for us. Hopefully this is more on the commercial counterterrorism side. But anything that has more restrictions on drones and gives more authority to people to regulate drones, because currently only the FAA really can do that. Yeah, it may have an impact on us. And
Yeah. Anytime it's tricky because right now, technically, it's not legal to, for example, jam a drone. That's an FCC thing, not an FAA thing. You're not allowed to jam, period. It's not legal. It would technically not be legal to shoot a drone down. You'd be shooting an aircraft down. Obviously, if you have a fighter jet and you could shoot down a plane or a helicopter, then you could also shoot down a drone. I mean, obviously, like the military can do things, but law enforcement and other like DHS technically can't do that legally, not without getting special permission. And that's especially true for things like airports, who are essentially just private, businesses, civilian, etc. So the idea that we would be expanding the right for, let's just say, critical infrastructure to take down or actively deny drones is an interesting step that we think you guys should know is sort of tentatively being taken.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my thought when I read this was that remote ID, like even if Race Day Quads wins on remote ID, well, fine, they're still going to, then they're just going to be shooting them down. I don't know. It's like, that's just one prong of the thing.
Sure. That is the case. However, I still think, I don't think this removes any space for the exception that is talked about where we could have shielded operations. So I think to me, that's still like the world where we're going to be the happiest in, and like the one we're possibly going to get as a world where remote ID gets pushed back to review, and then they have a opening for shielded operations and operations under certain like altitudes and in certain areas. So
yeah.
Oh,
that would still be a good thing to have. You're right.
Yeah.
If you're flying near the White House, maybe remote ID isn't really relevant.